The Alexandria Quartet. Clea, by Durrell. Read by Nicholas Bolton for Naxos Audiobooks. To my father. The primary and most beautiful of nature's qualities is motion, which agitates her at all times, but this motion is simply the perpetual consequence of crimes. It is conserved by means of crimes alone. D.A.F. de Sade. Part 1. 1. The oranges were more plentiful than usual that year. They glowed in their arbours of burnished green leaf like lanterns, flickering up there among the sunny woods. It was as if they were eager to celebrate our departure from the little island, for at last the long-awaited message from Nessim had come, like a summons back to the underworld. A message which was to draw me back inexorably to the one city which for me always hovered between illusion and reality, between the substance and the poetic images which its very name aroused in me. A memory, I told myself, which had been falsified by the desires and intuitions only as yet half realized on paper. Alexandria, the capital of memory. All the writing which I had borrowed from the living and the dead, until I myself had become a sort of postscript to a letter which was never ended, never posted. How long had I been away? I could hardly compute, though calendar time gives little enough indication of the eons which separate one self from another, one day from another. And all this time I had been living there, truly, in the Alexandria of my heart's mind. And page by page, heartbeat by heartbeat, I had been surrendering myself to the grotesque organism of which we had all once been part, victors and vanquished alike. An ancient city, changing under the brushstrokes of thoughts which besieged meaning, clamouring for identity. Somewhere there, on the black, thorny promontories of Africa, the aromatic truth of the place lived on, the bitter, unchewable herb of the past, the pith of memory. I had set out once to store, to codify, to annotate the past before it was utterly lost. That at least was a task I had set myself. I had failed in it. Perhaps it was hopeless, for no sooner had I embalmed one aspect of it in words than the intrusion of new knowledge disrupted the frame of reference. Everything flew asunder, only to reassemble again in unforeseen, unpredictable patterns. To rework reality, I had written somewhere. Temeritous, presumptuous words indeed, for it is reality which works and reworks us on its slow wheel. Yet if I had been enriched by the experience of this island interlude, it was, perhaps, because of this total failure to record the inner truth of the city. I had now come face to face with the nature of time, that ailment of the human psyche. I had been forced to admit defeat on paper. Yet, curiously enough, the act of writing had in itself brought me another sort of increase, by the very failure of words, which sink one by one into the measureless caverns of the imagination and gutter out. An expensive way to begin living, yes. But then we artists are driven towards personal lives, nourished in these strange techniques of self-pursuit.